Hey guys, it's always tough to reflect on the market stats in July and August. Buyers, sellers, and realtors alike tend to vacation over the summer months, and there's always a noticeable pause in the market. If we look at the last 10 years, there's only been one instance where there was more sales in July than any of the previous 3 months. So rather than just talk about stats that don't really mean much, I'm going to look at the link between the Bank of Canada's interest rates, the emotions of buyers and sellers, and how that relationship has impacted the prices over the past year. And I'm going to end this video with a small lesson for future sellers. Now, from last August until January of this year, the Bank of Canada increased their interest rates at each one of their meetings. This move pushed a lot of buyers and sellers to the sidelines as they watched to see how the market would react to these rate hikes. And during that period, the prices basically stayed flat. They were up or down 1 or 2% per month. Then, in mid to late January of this year, the Bank of Canada and most economists, hinted that they were nearing the end of their rate hike cycle, and that the January 25th announcement would be the last announcement or the last rate increase for the foreseeable future. And as a result, buyer confidence resumed, and buyers who had moved to the sidelines over the previous 6 to 8 months, they started to come back and they were getting actively looking at homes again. And this is when emotions came in, because buyers once again started to feel like if they don't buy a home now, they're never going to be able to afford a home. So bidding wars start popping up all over the place again, and you can really see the market activity picking back up. At the same time, inventory was still super low, so prices started to increase rapidly. From the period of January to May of this year, average prices across all home types was up 20%. And throughout this period, the sellers started getting emotional as well, and they want to capitalize on this rapid price appreciation. After a year of basically a very dull market, and because of that, active listings have increased every month for the past 6 months. But here comes the twist. Even though it seemed like the Bank of Canada was done with their rate hiking cycle, they went ahead and raised rates in June and then in July again. And those rate hikes spooked buyers, which has resulted in price declines over the past 2 months consistently. Now, that being said, the average price is still up 5% year over year, and it's still up 8% from January, which was the lowest the average price had been going back all the way to January 2021. But it's quite easy to see how the Bank of Canada's rates have impacted emotions, which have then resulted in changes in prices. So again, looking back from July until January of this year, rates went up at each meeting, and as a result, prices just stayed flat. And then in January of this year, the Bank of Canada announced that this would probably be the last rate hike. Buyers returned to the market, sellers returned to the market, and then prices started going back up again. And then, of course, in June and July, the Bank of Canada increased their rates again. Buyers and sellers got scared, and prices come back down again. Now, the next Bank of Canada announcement is on September 6th, and this will really dictate what happens in the fall market. If they choose to hold the rates where they're at, I suspect we'll have a pretty active fall market, and prices may actually climb, at a modest pace. But if the Bank of Canada chooses to raise their rates on September 6th, then I would say at best case, prices stay flat, but more than likely, prices will probably decline throughout the fall market. And as promised, I want to finish off this video with a quick lesson for sellers. The real winners over the past 6 months were the sellers who listed their homes in February and March of this year. That was when the market was most active, and prices have been propped back up again after a pretty stale 6 to 8 months. So here's my lesson. If you're planning on selling your home in the next 1 to 2 years, it doesn't really matter when. Start prepping your home now. For the average home, it takes at least 2 to 3 weeks to prep your home to get it ready to market to get it on the market to sell. So that includes things like decluttering your house, painting your house, making small repairs. And for some homes, it can take much longer than that. For homes that require some minor renovations, maybe things like replacing some flooring or carpet or changing out light fixtures or bathroom fixtures, things like that. So if you can get these things out of the way now, you'll be in a much better position to react to the market and get your home listed at the ideal time when it is that time. If you look at what happened this spring, by the time some sellers saw what was happening in the early spring, again, those big price spikes in February and March of this year, by the time the sellers, some would-be sellers saw those price spikes and started prepping their homes, it was too late. By that point, interest rates had started to go up again, and they weren't able to get their homes on the market in time, to get those same prices their neighbors had got. And in some cases, this means, if their neighbor got X price in February or March, they got 5 or 10% less when they went to list by May or June. So the lesson is, again, if you plan on selling your home in the next 1 to 2 years, start prepping for it now. Reach out to myself or reach out to your realtor and just discuss ideas of what it would take to really get your home in its top form. But that's my lesson for today. I hope you found some value in this video. If you did, please consider sharing with your friends and family and liking this video. Again, I thank you for watching these videos. Enjoy the rest of your summer, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.